It is the beginning of World Autism Awareness Week, and we've been concentrating on the experience of females on autism, speaking to Ginny Stiles and her daughter Anna, who was diagnosed a year ago at the age of 14. Displaying, various behaviours that might have been classed as anxiety, but on further examination, Anna diagnosed as having Asperger's, but not an easy diagnosis, and a diagnosis that for many people is missed. Nicky Clark is with us, who's a writer and disability rights campaigner. Good morning, Nicky.
Hello.
Hi. And it took until 49 before you were diagnosed, Nicky.
That's right.
Yeah. So how did that come about?
That came about through some counselling that I was having, and I have two daughters who are both autistic, and although the issue had come up various different times, you kind of push it to the back of your mind when you're a family carer and all the responsibilities that you have there. You kind of put yourself right at the very bottom of any list that's there. So this came about, and I went to my GP and I asked for a referral, and we talked through the reasons why I felt I needed to have a referral, and I persisted. I think possibly because I'm a disability rights campaigner anyway and very much used to advocating for my children, I applied that to myself, and I was referred on to the diagnostic team here. And it took a long time, as we know. All aspects of mental health involve quite a very long waiting list now. And over a period of months, the diagnostic tools were used, and it's basically a question and answer session. So you have to, being that autism is a lifelong disability, invisible disability, there is a lot of talk around childhood. And from there, the diagnosis came.
Mm. So what was it that made you feel that this might be you?
I think it had been apparent. When each of the girls were diagnosed, there would be aspects that I'd think, well, I do that, they get that from me. It came as absolutely no surprise to my husband and my daughter, who's my older daughter, that I was on the autistic spectrum, and it was something I think they'd just known about me and what were perceived as perhaps being quirks or traits or need for routines and sameness, and they all sort of featured very heavily in that. But I think with women, because I'm very passionately believe that autism is definitely a feminist issue, and one which is overlooked, because we are, as women, expected to conform and be compliant. We often mask many of our symptoms. And as I often say, autistic women are no friend to the patriarchy, because we do speak our minds and we don't accept the status quo as being that we can't. And for women, especially older women, the problems are misdiagnosis, late diagnosis, or no diagnosis at all. And because of the diagnostic tools and tests that we have, they are derived from studies with boys and men. The symptoms have to be picked up by people who understand what they're doing. The GPs need to get better at identifying potential autism in women and girls, and psychiatrists and all diagnostic teams, they must improve the tests, because the tests are very male-orientated. I mean, I set up the hashtag She Can't Be Autistic because of what I went through in the diagnostic process, and that got picked up worldwide, because often women are told, well, you're married, so you can't be autistic. You have children, so you can't be autistic. You're interested in pop music, so you can't be autistic. You wear makeup, so you can't be autistic. Or in my case, you do stand-up comedy, so you can't be autistic. And it's that idea that if women picked up a chair and threw it, or girls in the classroom just picked up a chair and threw it, their diagnosis would come far more quickly. But instead what they do is they internalise it, They often self-harm. There are a higher likelihood of experiencing and being targeted for sexual abuse, and as women, domestic violence.
Well, goodness. Nicky, thanks very much indeed. Unfortunately, we are out of time on this, but it's one of those ones that we do from time to time think, my goodness, this does need further examination, and we need to give it more time. Clearly, there's so much in there that we could be discussing. Thanks very much for your time this morning, and also Carol Povey, Ginny Stiles and Anna Stiles. It is the beginning of World Autism Awareness Week. You will probably hear a lot about it over the course of the week in various media outlets, and clearly a lot to discuss.